Till now, in this series of industrial communication protocol, we have studied about RS-232, RS-485 and 20 milliampere current loop. Now, we will study about Modbus protocol. Modicon created the first programmable logic controller in the United States in 1968. It was this company Modicon which developed Modbus, a serial communication protocol for use in their PLCs. In future, post-acquisitions and merger of companies, Modbus protocol came under the umbrella of Schneider Electric. Later, keeping in view the important role of this protocol, Schneider Electric assisted in the development of an independent organization, the Modbus organization. This is an independent, non-profit, member-based organization of a group of independent users and suppliers of automation devices. Since the formation of Modbus organization, same is taking care of evolution of Modbus protocol and its variants with changing time and technology. Why is Modbus so famous? Modbus is an open standard. Modicon, the creator of Modbus, did not keep the standard proprietary. They released Modbus as a non-proprietary standard and invited developers to implement it in various devices across different manufacturers. They invited even their competitors so that this standard could be widely accepted. As a result of this, Modbus became the first widely accepted standard. Hundreds of vendors implemented the Modbus protocol in their devices, and Modbus became the de facto standard for industrial communication networks. As almost all major vendors were manufacturing devices compatible with Modbus standard, it helped users a lot as they got many options of vendors to choose from for any particular purpose. Till now, we know two things about Modbus, that it is a serial communication protocol and it is an open standard, that is royalty-free, non-proprietary protocol. If stated in other words, Modbus defines methods used for transmitting information over serial lines between electronic devices. In a Modbus network, there exist a master and up to 247 slaves. The device requesting the information is called the Modbus master, and the devices supplying information are Modbus slaves. Each slave is assigned with a unique slave address, which could be from 1 to 247. In addition to requesting information from slaves, the master can also write information to the slaves. Modbus is typically used to transmit signals from instrumentation and control devices to the main controller or data gathering systems like PLC, DCS, or SCADA. Multiple versions of Modbus protocols has evolved with changing technological requirements. The variants of Modbus are Modbus RTU, Modbus ASCII, Modbus TCP/IP, Modbus over TCP/IP, Modbus over UDP, Modbus Plus, PEMX Modbus, Enron Modbus. Modbus RTU, Modbus ASCII, and Modbus Plus are RS485 single cable multi-drop networks. In these three, only the node assigned as the master may initiate a command. All other devices are slaves and respond to requests and commands. For the protocols using Ethernet, such as Modbus TCP, any device can send out a Modbus command, thus all can act as a master, although normally only one device acts as a master. In current session, we will concentrate on Modbus RTU remote terminal unit and Modbus ASCII only. Both are based on master-slave concept. In both of these, a unique slave ID is assigned to all the connected devices except the master. Now, the master sends message to the desired slave with slave ID, to which the slave node will respond with a reply message as desired by the master. All other slaves will also receive the message from the master, but only the slave whose ID will be in the received message will respond to that message. Other slaves will not respond till they receive a message from master with their slave ID. The format of the message is decided by the Modbus protocol, and we will study about that later. Here, it may be noted that both Modbus RTU and Modbus ASCII are RS485 single cable multi-drop networks. So, when we are talking about the message, it is sent in form of differential signaling, as I had already explained in my session on RS485. Like RS485, RS232 and RS422 could also be used, but that will limit us in many ways, like in number of nodes, speed and cable length. So RS485 provides us the best option among these three for electrical interface between various Modbus devices. The link to the session on RS485 is available in the description section, and a card on the same is right now showing on top right corner of this video. Basically, ASCII and RTU are the two transmission modes for Modbus. Both differ in message format and error checking mechanism. ASCII mode uses ASCII characters to begin and end messages, whereas RTU uses time gaps of 3.5 character times of silence for framing messages. Modbus ASCII is also called Modbus A, and Modbus RTU is called Modbus B. Modbus A has a typical message length that is about twice the length of the equivalent RTU message. A Modbus message frame consists of an application data unit which encapsulates a process data unit. In totality, there are four fields in any Modbus message. The first field is the address field of a single byte of information. In request frames, this byte identifies the slave controller to which the request is being directed. In response frame, this field holds the address of the responding device. The second field is the function field. This again of a single byte of information. In request frames, this byte identifies the function that the targeted slave controller is to perform. In response frame, if the targeted slave controller was able to perform the requested function, the same function code will be sent back in the response frame. Otherwise, the function field of the request will be echoed with its most significant bit set to 1. This way, an exception will be raised in the response frame. The third field in a message frame is the data field. This may be of variable length. In request frame, this field contains information that the targeted slave controller may need to complete the requested function. In response frame, this field contains any data requested by the master. The last two bytes in a message frame comprise the error check field. Modbus RTU uses CRC, cyclic redundancy check, while Modbus ASCII uses LRC, longitudinal redundancy check, for error checking. This was all about the message frame in Modbus. A big question is, if the Modbus protocol is from the 1970s, why would anyone use it for the Internet of Things? Is it going to lose its sign now, or it is going to stay even now in this IoT era. Modbus has a very large base of devices in which it is installed. Many machines and systems have used it and are still using it. Due to the ongoing large scale deployment of Modbus devices, there exists a large community of skilled technicians and professionals who know it and rely on it for their expensive, complicated, and large industrial systems. As the useful lives of industrial machines and systems are in decades due to the current large scale deployment of Modbus compliant devices, Modbus is going to coexist with other modern communication protocols in this era of IoT. With this, I conclude this session on Modbus protocol. Hope you like the video. Do subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon and hit the like button. Do tell me what you felt about this session in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.